Okay.
And I'm going to hit the record button. So we have this on the cloud.
Recording
Okay.
in
So CUNY
progress.
TV, that's your cue. We're now in public session. And 404. Okay, so members of the Board of Trustees, Committee on Facilities, Planning and Management, please respond present when you hear your name. Chairperson Brian Oberfeld,
Present.
Vice Chairperson Sandra Wilkin,
Present.
Trustee Michael Arvanites is going to be absent and excused. Trustee Fernando Ferrer,
Here.
Trustee Myra Linares Garcia,
Present.
Professor Jason Young, the faculty rep.
He's absent and I'm here.
Oh, great.
Yes.
Hi,
Thank you
Professor
for-
Kimura, how are you? Nice to see you. You're next up, Professor Kimura. I got you.
Thank you.
Maxwell Vellicogny. I don't see him. Okay. Deanna St. Hilaire is the student alternate. Nope. And Trustee Bacont, there you are. How are you? Okay, long time no see, right? We have a quorum. This public meeting of the Committee on Facilities Planning and Management is now called to order. On March 7th, 2020, Governor Cuomo issued Executive Order 202, declaring a state of emergency in response to the COVID-19 outbreak. On March 13th, 2020, Governor Cuomo issued Executive Order 202.1, which included a suspension of law allowing the attendance of meetings telephonically or other similar service. Article 7 of the Public Officers Law, to the extent necessary to permit any public body to meet and take such actions authorized by the law without permitting in public, in-person access to meetings and authorizing such meetings to be held remotely by conference call or similar service, provided that the public has the ability to view or listen to such proceeding, and that such meetings are recorded and later transcribed. In accordance with Executive Order, this board meeting is being held via video conference with a live stream found at the CUNY Board of Trustees website. We are testing a new closed captioning feature today, which you will see on the bottom of your screens. A copy of the calendar and agenda is also available online at the CUNY Board of Trustees website. Additional items may be added during the meeting. And as a reminder, please mute your audio so we can ensure that everyone can hear. I'd like to take a roll call attendance for members of the Chancellery. Members of the Chancellery, please respond present when you hear your name. Chancellor Felix Matos Rodriguez.
Present.
General Counsel and Senior Vice Chancellor for Legal Affairs, Derek Davis.
Present.
Executive Vice Chancellor and Chief Operating Officer, Hector Batista.
Present.
Gustavo Ordonez, Associate General Counsel and Chief of Staff.
Present.
Scott Burrell, the University Executive Deputy Facilities and General Counsel for CUCF.
Present.
And Ali Vedavars, the Deputy Executive Director for Design and Construction Management.
Present.
Great,
Okay.
it's all yours, Brian.
Thank you, Gail. Now let's turn to items requiring a vote today. Given that all board members are participating remotely via Zoom and we cannot see one another, I will announce the resolutions and ask for members to respond. Only if you would like to abstain or oppose an item. Otherwise, your vote will be recorded as a yes vote. If you are voting no or abstaining, please state your name and vote. Additionally, if you wish to second an item or have any questions, please state your name first for the record, and let's try to avoid speaking over one another. We will take up the following items for approval. Action items. Action item 1A is the approval of the minutes of the May 3rd, 2021 meeting. I move the approval of action item 1A. Do I have a second?
Second, Leonidas Garcia.
Thank you. Any discussion? We will now vote. Please only respond if you would like to abstain or oppose. Okay, not hearing anything. The motion carries unanimously. I would now like to address action item 1B, policy calendar. Policy item 1B1 is a resolution to authorize the replacement of fire alarm panels in 10 buildings of Lehman College. I now call on Executive Vice Chancellor and Chief Operating Officer Hector Bastia to provide further background on this item.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The assistant fire alarm panels at 10 Lehman College buildings are approximately 22 years old. They are no longer serviceable. Replacement parts are no longer manufactured, and the entire fire alarm panel needs to be replaced. Siemens is the manufacturer of the fire alarm system in these Lehman College buildings, and are the only vendors that can design and install the fire alarm panels. CUCF has revised its procurement guidance to require installation of building systems that allow third-party vendors to provide service contracts. These include building systems such as escalators, elevators, but some proprietary systems continue to require service from the manufacturer. New York State Office of General Service, OGCS, has procured a service requirement contract to ensure that the state is charged reasonable and competitive price for work related to this proprietary system. OGCS has one such contract with Siemens, which specifies pricing for both materials and installation. CUCF will be using OGS contract to engage Siemens to do the design and installation of Lehman. The design is expected to be completed in 2021. Construction schedule is commenced January of 2022 and concluded in December 2022. The project is funded for approximately $1 million of state capital funds.
Okay. I move the approval of action item 1B1. Do I have a second?
Yes, Wilkins seconds.
Thank you, Sandra. We will, any discussion?
I have a question, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Is this a system that mirrors or is similar to other fire alarm systems on other campuses, or is this sort of a unique one-off kind of thing for Lehman?
Yeah, I'm going to defer to Ali to answer that. Go ahead, Ali.
Yeah, thank you. Edgar. Yeah, I mean, this is the same. At a number of campuses, we have different systems like Johnson Control System. We have a Red Hawk system, Siemens system. But in this case, they are very similar. But since the entire campus has a Siemens system, we have to stick to the Siemens, to be consistent. Yes.
All right.
Does that answer your question,
I
Trustee?
mean, I think Fred, Trustee Ferrer, I think the issue here is that because of these buildings, the way they were designed, we're kind of, in some ways, kind of stuck with this kind of a system. I think that's the short answer to that. And in some ways, we don't have a lot of choices here. I mean, I kind of understand kind of where you're getting at, right? And understand kind of your views on some of these things, but I think that's really the short of this particular situation.
Thank you. That's the kind of candid response I was hoping for.
Okay. Okay, we will now vote. Any further comments from anybody? Okay, we will now vote. Please only respond if you would like to abstain or oppose. Hearing none, motion carries unanimously. Policy item IB2 is a resolution to authorize the second lease amendment agreement with BVK 55 West 125th Street LLC as landlord at 55 West 125th Street, New York, for the CUNY Graduate School of Public Health and Health Policy. I now call on Executive Vice Chancellor and Chief Operating Officer Hector Batista to provide further background on this item.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The CUNY Graduate School of Public Health and Health Policy has experienced significant growth and requires additional space to expand its research and program capabilities. The current lease at 55 West 125th Street LLC includes 38,904 square feet of space. The original lease commenced in June 20th of 2014. The original lease was amended to add additional space in January 29th of 2016. The ground floor space was leased in April 24th of 2018. Existing lease expired November 30th of 2030. This second lease amendment agreement will be adding an additional 8,800 square feet in the eighth floor of the original lease. The annual base rent for additional premises of lease is for 1 to 5 years at a cost of $426,000, approximately $48.50 a square feet. The landlord is responsible for the cost of cleaning, operating of the building. The university is responsible for the cost of sub-meter electric, the proportional share of real estate taxes, and other terms and conditions set forth in the original lease. Now, I would just say that this is one of our colleges that's doing extremely well in terms of the leasing. And when the dean of the school approached us about this, we wanted to make sure that we could continue to accommodate some of the great work that this college is doing.
Okay, I move the approval of action item IB2. Do I have a second?
Wilkins seconds.
Thank you, Sandra. Any discussion? We will now vote. Please only respond if you would like to abstain or oppose. Hearing none, motion carries unanimously. Policy item 1B3 is a resolution to authorize a new lease agreement with Henry Fitz Plaza South, Inc. as landlord for the Baruch Early Learning Center at 444 Second Avenue, New York for Baruch College. I now call on the Executive Vice Chancellor and Chief Operating Officer Hector Bastia to provide further background on this item.
Baruch College Students Services is one of the missions that we provide at the university, child care services to our students. The landlord of this assistant premise will now offer us an extension past 2022. So because of that, the university went out and began to look for other opportunities to try to accommodate this very important service. The original lease was in June 26 of 2001. And on March 22, 2021, BOT authorized a 1-year extension in order for us to be able to find a permanent home for Baruch daycare. The new premise will include 6,416 square feet at 444 Second Avenue. The landlord is Henry Fitz Plaza Southeast. This lease will commence after completion of the minor work that needs to be done, and it will expire after 15 years. The annual base rent for this lease is $439,000 or $68.50 a square foot, with a 3% annual increase thereafter. The landlord is responsible for cost of maintenance, repairs provision, hot water, cold water, snow removal from the building. The university will provide its portion share of the real estate taxes, HVAC maintenance, and sub-meter water.
Okay, I move for approval of action item IB3. Do I have a second?
Wilkins seconds.
Thank you, Sandra. Any discussion? We will now vote. Please only respond if you would like to abstain or oppose. Hearing none, motion carries unanimously. Policy item 1B4 is a resolution to increase funding for the new nursing education, research, and practice center at Lehman College. I now call on Executive Vice Chancellor and Chief Operating Officer Hector Bastia to provide further background on this item.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Lehman College building It's approximately 52,289 square feet, 5-floor building on site of a parking lot and former bookstore located between Carmen Hall and Davis Hall. The nursing department is currently located at a temporary T3 building on campus, which will be demolished, permits expansion of a science hall as per Lehman College master plan. The new facilities will provide nursing department with state-of-the-art teaching facilities and support nursing, which emphasis on campus-based labs and additional traditional clinical placement for the community. We also provide doctoral candidate engagement, research, and other doctoral nursing practice program. The Lehman Nursing Building project will include a lab, classroom, faculty, office space, computer lab, testing center, research lab, administrator, and support space. On June 24th of 2019, the Board of Trustees requested CUSIF to manage the construction of a nursing building and provide $75 million of funding. In June 2019, the preliminary budget of the construction was for $78.7 million, with a shortfall of $3.7 million. In the summer of 2019, the project was bid out, and the lowest responsible bidder was the contingency price increased by $8.5 million higher than the preliminary budget. The new building code that was amended on roofs on buildings like this one increased the cost by an additional $500,000. There was an additional shortfall of about $1.5 million connected to inspections and other costs connected to this building. The construction management fee was underestimated for an additional $3.6 million. And then the current project, we needed to also do the FF&E cost for an additional $8.1 million. So when we're now asking the board to approve an increase of this for this project, not to exceed the cost of $100 million. By the way, this project had this money in the budget. Clearly, there were some budgeting issues connected to this project, and this would allow us to be able to complete this very important project for the university. There was other things connected to this project around new laws that were passed, thus creating this shortfall that I'm bringing in front of the board. This is, we believe, the project that the amount of money that we need in order for us to be able to have this project be fully funded and completed, which is part of a very important project for the Lehman College.
Okay. Thank you. I move the approval of action item IB4. Do I have a second?
Second, Linares Garcia.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, we will now vote. Please only respond if you would like to abstain or oppose. Hearing none, motion carries. With no more items on the policy calendar, I now call on Executive Vice Chancellor and Chief Operating Officer Hector Batista to address informational items.
Mr. Chairman, there are no informational items to report.
Okay, thank you. I just, I want to, Gail, and maybe, this is always done at the board level, but I just want to make sure we do the some kind of resolution of appreciation for Charlie Short.
Absolutely. Already in the works.
I second that, Mr. Chairman.
Thank
Okay,
you.
great.
Agreed.
Here,
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, with no more items on the agenda, I move to adjourn this meeting. Do I have a second?
For a second.
The meeting is adjourned. Everybody be safe and well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hey, Giovanni.
Brian.
Take care, everybody.